Hey everyone, welcome to my first Minecraft 1.18 video. Well, technically it's not 1.18 released yet, it's just the release candidate number 4, but it's pretty close, so a lot of things hopefully shouldn't change with the actual update here that's going to be happening within actually just a few hours from the time that you watch this video. But one of the major things that's going to be changing is the way that mobs spawn, and this mob farm will actually utilize that, and you guys will be able to go ahead and put this mob farm anywhere that you would like. It doesn't matter if it's in the overworld, above ground, below ground. Now, this design is heavily influenced by an Ilmango design, and it's a design very similar to what I've been using for a very, very long time, with just a couple changes just to make sure that it is 100% dark, so that mobs will spawn where we want them to spawn. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. But before we actually go that, I have one quick announcement that I do plan on having a hardcore world with Minecraft 1.18, and if that's something that you guys would really strongly be interested in seeing, like I survived my first 100 days or just a let's play series, by all means leave a comment down below, because I'm really curious to see how many people would be interested in that. Now, currently on your screen you guys will be able to see a material list for the schematic of the mob farm for 1.18. Now, this was actually built in 1.16 just so I could get the schematic of it, and then I have rebuilt it multiple times here in 1.18. Now, this is everything that you guys will actually need. It all fits just on one page, which is absolutely amazing. But you don't necessarily have to go ahead and use any type of slab. If you just want to use like cobblestone or just stone or whatever material that you have, or full block, slab, full block, it doesn't really matter. Either way is going to work just fine. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is pick out a place that you guys want to be able to build it at. And we're close to a crazy village over there that's got the Twin Towers, apparently. But we're just going to go ahead and build up a couple levels. It doesn't really matter how many you go up, whatever you feel is necessary, especially if you're going to have a chest room down below the mob farm, then make sure that you build up high enough. So then on this level, what you want to do is actually place down a campfire, and we're actually going to go ahead and place 9 of them total, and it doesn't matter where they actually go, just something kind of like that. And then what you're going to want to do is get rid of all of your temporary blocks that we're going to be using down there. Now, what you want to do is come out around each of this and just put one, just a single slab around this, and you're going to see why we're doing this in a little bit. And then what you're going to want to do is come out from the corner and then just go up a few blocks. And then what you want to do is extend this right across here. And then we're just going to kind of come across this side here and just making a little bit of a ring around here. And then what you want to do is you want to fill in right here, and then right here, then also right here. Now you're going to want to come out one more and then fill this in, and this is actually for the spiders specifically. Now, the spiders, if you build a wall up, then they have a chance of crawling out, and that will clog up the machine a little bit. It's not a huge deal, but from the testing that I did, if you want it to be as efficient as possible, then I highly recommend that you guys go ahead and put this like over like this little lip in here, and then we're going to be putting hoppers below that so it can still actually suck stuff through those slabs, and that's why I'm putting slabs there. If you put in a full block there, then you're not going to be able to actually go to do that. Now, from the center, or from this one block, we actually want to go at 11. This will actually count as 1 right there. So we got 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And we're actually going to do that off of all 4 main points right here. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And then I'm going to finish up the other 2, and we'll be right back. Now, at this point in time, all you actually want to do is from the corner, you just want to make a diagonal pattern all the way to each of them, so that it'll kind of look like this all the way around, and then you want to fill in everything in there. So let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, so this is what everything should look like when you have made your diamond and then filled everything in. I've also put a few torches down below just to make sure that nothing spawns up down here when we're building up above in just a little bit. So now at this point, what you want to do is grab a couple chests. We have basically 5 different rows here that we got to cover. So this one is actually going to be collected, so we can actually kind of put our first chest right down below here. So we're just going to go ahead and put like 3 rows of chests in, and I probably don't even need to have them go down quite that far, but you can put it down really wherever you want. So let's just kind of put it at that level right there, and we're going to go ahead and just kind of extend that up. And you're not going to be able to go really any higher with the chest, because if you put it here, this one won't be able to open. So just keep that in mind. You could knock out that bottom block and then re-put this down like right there. If you wanted to be able to do that, then you could put a chest right there and now it will open. It's kind of up to you how you guys want to go ahead and design that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put in hoppers behind all of these chests here. And then what you want to do is a hopper there, hopper there, hopper there. And then you're going to want to go ahead and line it all the way to the back. And we're going to go ahead and go one past all the campfires, because this will be able to get collected there. And now these 3 need to have hoppers facing in that way. And then on the other side, the middle 3 need to have hoppers there too. All right, now that we actually have our collection completed, if you aren't doing a storage down below and having it sent off to wherever you would like, that's perfectly fine. Now at this point, what you want to do is you want to go up 3, just 3, so like that, around, or 3 more I should say, and we're going to do this all the way around the outside of the entire build. So I'll go ahead and do that right now. Now after that is all complete, we're going to go on the inside block, and we're actually just going to go ahead and put 2 high all the way around as well. So I'll go ahead and do that right now. So now that you've completed your inside layer with the 2, we're going to go ahead and place 2 more in the very corners. So now this is where things get a little bit interesting. And we're going to place the last one over here. And then what you want to do is just place your water bucket on each of these like that. And then they're actually going to go all the way to where the campfire is. And then you're going to place water buckets on each of the inside ones that you did. And then you want to make sure that you don't hit it on the outside one. You just put it on the 3 here. And then what you're going to do is you're actually going to place a single block in the middle. That way it's spawn proof and you don't have to worry about anything spawning there. And then if anything lands right there, it should get sucked into the water and pulled down that way. All right, and this is what everything should look like when you guys are completed. All the rings around the center. This is what everything should look like once you put all of your water in. So now we can actually finish and start building the layers up above. Now, each layer is going to be the exact same. So ultimately, I'm just going to be building the first layer with you guys. And then I'm going to be building 11 more after that. It's up to you how many you would like to build depending on what you actually are going for in your world. So we're just going to use some temporary blocks and we're going to go up just a little bit. About that high actually works just fine. You're going to go ahead and place a dispenser facing upwards. And then what you want to do is put a temporary block, and then you want to go ahead and place another dispenser facing upwards. That's actually going to be our second layer. This one is actually going to be our first layer. You can actually get rid of both of those blocks and then place an observer facing downward so that you have the signal facing downward into this dispenser. It doesn't look like it's actually touching it, but it is. It works just fine. And then you can actually get rid of all of your temporary blocks that you just got done placing to actually start your build. Now what you want to do is go out 7 from there. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And you're going to do this in all 4 directions. And then what you want to do is on each of them is make a diagonal, kind of like what we did down below. I'm having a hard time clicking there for some reason. And then just make that connect over here. And then you're going to have a pattern, and it's going to be another diamond up here. It's just going to be a smaller one than the one that you built with the water platform. Now, this is what your first platform should look like, and all the ones above it are going to be the exact same. The only difference is the very top layer will not have a dispenser on it. It will actually have the note block, the only note block you're going to be using in this entire build, at the very, very top of it. So however many levels you guys are going to be repeating up there, go ahead and do that now. And I'm going to go ahead and build my next 11 starting right here. This is going to be my next level right there. And we're just going to repeat the same one all the way up. So we have built all 12 of our platforms here in this world. And at the very top, you guys can see that I placed my note block. So this is going to be placed on whatever your top one instead of your dispenser. So now at this point, what we want to do is go ahead and build out 17. So this would be 2, and then we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And this is how far you guys want to go out on all 4 directions in order to actually make sure that this thing is 100% dark, so that all mobs will actually go ahead and spawn here. So we're just going to go ahead and go out that 17 all the way around, and then you're going to just go at a diagonal all the way around, and then you're going to fill in the entire roof as well. Now the one thing at this point I would highly recommend that you guys go ahead and do, I'm not going to do it here in the tutorial, but I really recommend that you guys go ahead and light up at least a little bit of each of these platforms. Otherwise, when you go to put your water in, you're going to actually be dealing with mobs. Or you can actually go ahead in each of your dispensers at this point in time, go ahead and place each of your water buckets. So you're going to need your 12 water buckets or whatever you guys have built in each of these in each of your dispensers. So go ahead and do the roof and your water buckets now. And this is what your roof should look like when it is all complete. Now let's go ahead and move on to our next step, and this is where you guys are going to go ahead and need your redstone. So you're going to need a couple of your repeaters, you're going to need a couple of your comparators, you're also going to need a couple more hoppers, a redstone block, and then the other thing we're going to need is some redstone and a couple of your sticky pistons here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and place 2 blocks on the top of that. And then whatever direction you guys are going to be facing this into, you need to put a block here. You're going to put your repeater right here. And then what you want to do behind that is go ahead and place your block off to the right of that repeater. Then what you want to do is face in a sticky piston facing that way, and then a sticky piston facing that way. And then behind each of the redstone block and then the empty spot, we want to have a couple of hoppers. So go ahead and put one down, face one into there, and then face one into that one. And I destroyed the wrong one. So that they're facing into each other like that, so the tails are connecting. This is an etho hopper clock, so if you guys know how to build that, that's all you really need to know. And then what we're going to do here is place a block there and a block there with a comparator and a comparator. And then what you want to do is have a full block out of that, and then one there. And then what you want to do is put a dust there, and then do the same thing on the other side. So block, and then a full block here, and you can get rid of that one if you'd like, completely up to you. And then a dust there. And then what you want to do in order to spawn proof this is you're going to want to light at least this segment up here. You don't have to do the floor because this is spawn proof the way that it is, and this is the reason that I like to be able to build with slabs to begin with. So really all you need is just a couple torches there, there, and there, and that's all that you need to do as far as your redstone goes. And then what I recommend is that you go ahead and place at least 32 blocks in here. It really doesn't matter how many you really place in there. Just go ahead and place them in. Then the last thing that we actually need for this entire build is an on and off switch. So go ahead and put your lever there, and then you can actually go ahead and place it in and turn it off. And then what that's going to do, that's going to lock this in so that the water is pushing it. And I know that there's mobs down here below anyway. You can see all of them going down, which is really nice. And then that will make sure that nothing can spawn there if you happen to leave your area, which is absolutely fantastic. And then I'm just going to kind of show you down in here what's kind of going on. Might get a little bit loud, so I might have to turn this down. But when the spiders actually get down in there, if you didn't have the indentation, that means that the spiders could easily climb out, which means that if you're going to continuously be running this, they couldn't actually get in there as easy. And because they have that little lip as well, they'll move around a little bit more, which means that more spiders can actually fall down into the killing platform. Now, the only thing that this doesn't kill, unfortunately, is the witches, which is rather unfortunate, but it is the only mob that can't be killed in this farm. You'd want to look at that for your Y, and then you want to go up 128 blocks, or unless you're playing on a server, then whatever the max height is going to be, and that's where you guys would actually want to go ahead and place your AFK platform. So in this case, I would take 66 or 67 plus 128, and that's where I would want to mark it in the sky, and that's where I would want to stand specifically for this mob farm to be as effective as possible. But I can fly because I'm in creative, so let's just go ahead and kind of just fly backwards here, and let's go ahead and turn this on. And then what we can do is just sit back and watch all of the mobs actually start to just fall in there, which is going to be absolutely outstanding. So this is probably far enough away right about here, and we should start to see them populate in. And then we only put 32 items inside of that hopper clock, so it's going to run relatively quickly. So it should be enough time for all the mobs to go ahead and be pushed off, and then come down to the bottom, and then the water will dissipate, and then the next mobs will go ahead and start spawning in as the mobs that are in the killing chamber are actually dying. Now you can make this a little bit longer if you would like, just to make sure that you have more mobs being pushed into it. It's completely up to you. The more mobs that haven't been killed yet just means that you're going to have a less and less and less amount of them falling down into the actual chamber below. And obviously make sure you guys light up any caves as if you're not going to be standing up in your AFK platform. But that really is all the information that you guys are going to need to know about the mob farm in general. Some major changes happening to the mobs in 1.18, and I'm pretty excited for it, and I really can't wait to start playing 1.18 in survival. And if you guys are interested in that hardcore world, like I mentioned earlier, then please leave a comment down below, because I'd like to be able to start that out if that is something that you guys are interested in. But until next time, YouTube, you guys keep doing what you're doing because you're already doing it, and you guys stay gaming.